Ladies and gentlemen, every great achievement, every victory, every breakthrough begins not in the outer world, but within the mind. The way you think, the attitude you hold, becomes the master key that either unlocks the door to success or bolts it shut. When you develop an unbreakable positive mental attitude, you possess a power greater than circumstance, greater than defeat, greater even than fear itself. First, recognize that your mental attitude is the gateway to everything. A negative mind poisons opportunity, a positive one attracts it. Life reflects your inner state like a mirror. If you see lack, you attract lack. If you see possibility, you awaken possibility. The world bends in the direction of your dominant thoughts. Second, you must command your inner dialogue. Thoughts are seeds, and your mind is fertile ground. If you plant weeds of doubt, you will reap a harvest of failure. If you plant seeds of confidence, perseverance, and faith, your harvest will be rich. Guard your thoughts as a king guards his treasure, for they determine your destiny. Third, learn to turn obstacles into opportunities. Every challenge you face carries within it the seed of an advantage. Failures are not endings, they are signposts pointing you to greater wisdom. The storm may shake you, but it also strengthens your roots. When you hold a positive mental attitude, setbacks become stepping stones. Fourth, remember that association shapes attitude. Spend time with those who complain, and you will soon complain. Spend time with those who dream, and you will soon dream bigger. Your environment fuels or drains your spirit. Choose wisely who you allow into your circle, for they either lift you higher or drag you down. Fifth, persistence powered by positivity is unstoppable. Success rarely bows to the impatient. It yields to the man or woman who keeps pressing forward, even when the night is long and the road is rough. A positive mental attitude gives you the energy to rise again, to strike once more, to believe when others have surrendered. Finally, faith sustains the attitude that nothing can break. Faith in yourself, faith in the goodness of others, and faith in a higher purpose that guides your steps. This faith fuels optimism even when the evidence seems against you. It whispers, "Hold on a little longer. Your time is coming." And my friends, the difference between those who conquer and those who quit is not luck, not talent, not even intelligence. It is attitude. When you develop an unbreakable positive mental attitude, you become a magnet for success, a light in the darkness, a leader who cannot be defeated. So I challenge you today, decide that nothing will shake your spirit. Feed your mind with empowering thoughts, surround yourself with uplifting voices, and persist with faith until your dream is reality. Because once your attitude becomes unbreakable, so will you. Your mind is the master key that unlocks every door in life. It holds the power to open the gates of abundance, success, and happiness, or to lock you inside the prison of mediocrity, fear, and failure. The difference lies not in the circumstances around you, but in the attitude you choose to carry within you. A positive mental attitude is not something you stumble upon by chance. It is a deliberate decision, a daily discipline, and the most valuable possession you can ever own. With it, you see possibility where others see impossibility. Without it, even the greatest opportunity will appear as a burden too heavy to carry. When you understand that your mind shapes your reality, you begin to realize how critical it is to master your attitude. A man or woman with a positive mental attitude sees setbacks as temporary, challenges as lessons, and difficulties as training grounds for greatness. On the other hand, a person with a negative mental attitude will see every obstacle as proof that success is out of reach. The truth is that both are correct, not because of fate, but because each mindset creates its own outcome. Your mental attitude determines whether you rise or whether you fall. The strongest proof of this truth lies in how two people can face the same situation, but produce completely different results. Place one person with a positive attitude in front of a locked door, and they will look for the key, the window, or the alternative route. Place another with a negative attitude in front of the same door, and they will turn back, declaring it impossible. The circumstances are the same, but the outcomes differ because of the mind at work. Your mind, therefore, is not just part of your journey. It is the very map that guides your steps. A positive mental attitude also determines how others respond to you. People are naturally drawn to those who radiate optimism, confidence, and possibility. They want to be around the one who believes solutions exist, the one who remains calm in crisis, the one who refuses to quit. Such an attitude opens doors of opportunity, not because of luck, but because people trust leaders who carry it. Conversely, a negative attitude repels opportunity. It drains the room of energy, kills collaboration, and convinces others that failure is inevitable. Thus, your mental attitude does not just affect you, it influences the world around you. But let us be clear, a positive mental attitude is not about ignoring reality. It does not mean pretending problems don't exist. It means facing reality with the confidence that you are bigger than your problems, stronger than your challenges, and capable of finding solutions. It is the refusal to bow to fear and the decision to believe that there is always a way forward. This unbreakable attitude does not deny the storm. It simply declares that the storm will not defeat you. The greatest fortunes ever created, the most inspiring victories ever won, and the most remarkable inventions ever discovered all began with this master key, a positive mental attitude. It is what allowed pioneers to pursue dreams no one else could see. It is what gave warriors the courage to rise after defeat. It is what gives ordinary people the ability to accomplish extraordinary things. The ones who carry this key never allow themselves to be trapped by excuses. They unlock doors that others leave untouched. And here lies the ultimate truth. You cannot control the world, but you can always control your attitude toward it. You cannot control what happens to you, but you can always control what happens within you. And when you decide that nothing can shake your positive mental attitude, you will find that nothing can stop you. The mind is the master key. Guard it, strengthen it, and use it to unlock the destiny that belongs to you. Adversity is not the enemy of success. It is the training ground where greatness is forged. Every challenge you face, every difficulty that seems unbearable, every setback that threatens to break you is, in truth, a hidden opportunity for growth. A positive mental attitude does not fear adversity. It welcomes it. Why? Because it understands that the very obstacles meant to block your path are the same ones that strengthen your character, sharpen your vision, and prepare you for victories greater than you can yet imagine. Think of the strongest steel. It is not created in gentle breezes or calm waters. It is formed in fire, hammered, and cooled again and again until it becomes unbreakable. The same is true for the human spirit. Without resistance, without hardship, without pressure, we remain soft and untested. Adversity is the fire that tempers your soul, and your positive mental attitude is what allows you to endure the heat without being destroyed by it. Where the weak crumble under pressure, the strong rise from the flames tougher, wiser, and more determined. A negative attitude views adversity as punishment. It says, "Why me? Why now?" It interprets setbacks as proof that success is impossible. But a positive mental attitude flips the script. It asks instead, "What can I learn? How can this make me stronger? What hidden opportunity lies within this challenge?" The difference between these two mindsets is the difference between a life of defeat and a life of triumph. The circumstances may be the same, but the interpretation changes everything. History is filled with examples of individuals who turned adversity into stepping stones. Entrepreneurs who were rejected dozens of times before creating billion-dollar companies. Leaders who faced defeat after defeat before guiding nations to freedom. Inventors who endured ridicule and failure before unveiling discoveries that changed the world. What do all of them have in common? Not perfect conditions, not luck. They had an unbreakable positive mental attitude that saw every adversity as part of the path, not the end of it. Adversity also strips away illusions and reveals truth. It shows you who your true allies are, what your real priorities should be, and how strong your will actually is. Many people think they are committed until adversity arrives. Then they realize whether their dream is strong enough to endure discomfort. Adversity becomes a mirror, reflecting your level of persistence, your depth of desire, and the authenticity of your vision. If you approach it with a positive attitude, adversity becomes your greatest teacher, showing you where to grow and how to prepare for what lies ahead. Another hidden benefit of adversity is that it builds resilience. Resilience is not born in easy times, it is born in the storm. Each time you face difficulty with a positive attitude, you add another layer of armor to your spirit. You become less shaken by setbacks, less discouraged by delays, less fearful of the unknown. Over time, this resilience becomes part of your identity. You stop asking, "Will I survive this?" and instead declare, "Nothing will stop me." That mindset is unshakable, and it is exactly what adversity was meant to build within you. Understand this: adversity will come to everyone. No one is spared. But the outcome is determined not by the size of the challenge, but by the size of your attitude in facing it. You can allow it to crush you, or you can decide to let it build you. When you embrace adversity with a positive mental attitude, you are no longer its victim. You become its master. Instead of being broken by struggle, you are strengthened by it. Instead of fearing hardship, you thrive in it. So the next time adversity knocks at your door, welcome it as a guest that has come to teach you something priceless. See it as fuel for your growth, not proof of your defeat. With the right attitude, every setback becomes a setup for a comeback, every trial becomes training for triumph, and every difficulty becomes the very reason you succeed. Adversity is not your enemy. It is the sculptor of your greatness. Your mind is the most valuable territory you will ever own, and it must be protected with vigilance. Every thought, every word, every image, and every influence that enters it has the power to shape your destiny. Most people guard their money, their homes, and their possessions, yet they leave the gates of their mind wide open for negativity, doubt, fear, and poison to walk in freely. A positive mental attitude cannot survive in an unguarded mind. To develop an unbreakable attitude, you must first become the watchman of your own thoughts. The truth is this: your mind is like fertile soil. Whatever seeds are planted in it, whether of success or failure, hope or despair, courage or fear, will eventually grow and bear fruit. If you allow weeds of doubt, bitterness, and negativity to take root, they will choke out your dreams and limit your progress. But if you deliberately plant seeds of faith, optimism, and determination, you will harvest abundance, opportunity, and success. Guarding the gates of your mind means being intentional about what you allow in, because what enters eventually becomes what grows. Consider the influences that surround you. The books you read, the conversations you entertain, the news you consume, the company you keep. All of these are feeding your mind. If the majority of what enters is negative, critical, and fear-driven, your attitude will inevitably reflect it. You cannot expect to think positively while filling your mind with garbage. Just as you would not drink polluted water, you must not allow your mind to be polluted by destructive thoughts and influences. Guarding the gates means filtering your input and choosing carefully what you expose yourself to. A powerful way to guard your mind is to take control of your inner dialogue. The most important voice you will ever hear is the one inside your head, the voice that narrates your life to you. For many, this voice is critical, discouraging, and filled with fear, but a positive mental attitude requires training this voice to speak life, hope, and belief. You must replace self-doubt with self-affirmation. Replace "I can't" with "I will," and replace "it's impossible" with "there's always a way." If you do not guard your inner voice, it will betray you. But if you master it, it will guide you to greatness. Guarding the gates of your mind also means setting boundaries with people. Not everyone deserves access to your mental space. There are those who, knowingly or unknowingly, drain your energy with negativity, criticism, and doubt. While you may not always remove these people completely, you must decide how much influence they are allowed to have. A positive attitude thrives when surrounded by encouragement, vision, and support. Protect yourself from constant complainers and energy thieves, because their words can seep into your mind and poison your perspective. Discipline plays a role here as well. Guarding your mind is not a one-time act. It is a daily practice. Just as a castle requires constant watch, so does your mental fortress. You cannot guard it today and abandon it tomorrow, or the enemy of negativity will creep back in. Each day you must ask, what am I allowing into my mind? Is this thought strengthening me or weakening me? Is this influence building my faith or feeding my fear? This level of awareness ensures that your positive mental attitude remains unshakable. The mind left unguarded becomes a battlefield of confusion, but the mind that is protected becomes a sanctuary of power. When you guard the gates of your mind, you are not closing yourself off from reality. You are simply refusing to allow poison to destroy your potential. You are choosing to feed yourself with truth, faith, and vision rather than lies, fear, and doubt. And over time, this habit transforms you into a person whose attitude cannot be broken because it is not left vulnerable to outside control. Remember, your mind is your most valuable asset, and the quality of your life will always reflect the quality of your thoughts. Guard it as you would guard treasure, for in truth, it is far more valuable. When you learn to control what enters, you also gain control over what comes out, your decisions, your actions, and ultimately your destiny. Guard the gates of your mind, and you will build a life that no negativity can destroy. Faith over fear is one of the greatest dividing lines between people who live small and those who live large. Fear is the prison that keeps most individuals locked away from their true potential, while faith is the key that unlocks the doors to possibility. To build an unbreakable positive mental attitude, you must learn to starve fear and feed faith. This is not about ignoring danger or denying reality. It is about choosing to focus on the power of what can go right rather than being paralyzed by what might go wrong. Fear has a way of magnifying obstacles, making them appear larger than life. It whispers lies into your mind. You can't do it. You're not good enough. Others have already failed, so you will too. Fear thrives in the shadows of uncertainty, growing stronger whenever you hesitate. It clouds judgment, weakens resolve, and robs you of opportunity. Entire lives are wasted because of fear. Fear of rejection, fear of loss, fear of failure, and even fear of success. The mind that bows to fear cannot hold a positive mental attitude, because fear suffocates hope. But faith is different. Faith sees what fear cannot see. It is the ability to stand in the face of uncertainty and declare, something greater is at work here. Faith focuses not on the size of the problem, but on the size of the possibility. It believes in unseen outcomes, untapped strength, and doors yet to be opened. Where fear says, "What if I fail?" faith replies, "What if I succeed?" Where fear whispers, "This is too hard," faith responds, "Hardship is training for my strength." Faith transforms the way you interpret challenges, turning every obstacle into an opportunity. Developing faith over fear begins with your thoughts. Every time a fearful thought enters your mind, you must challenge it. Ask yourself, is this thought based on truth or on speculation? Is it guiding me toward growth, or is it trapping me in limitation? Fear thrives unchallenged, but once questioned, it loses its power. Faith, on the other hand, grows stronger the more you affirm it. Each time you choose to believe in a possibility instead of surrendering to fear, you add another layer of strength to your positive mental attitude. Faith is not just belief, it is action. To truly overcome fear, you must take steps forward even while afraid. Action shrinks fear and builds confidence, while inaction magnifies fear and feeds doubt. When you act in faith, you create evidence for yourself that progress is possible, and this evidence becomes fuel for greater belief. A small step taken in faith today can lead to giant leaps tomorrow. Faith without action is simply wishful thinking, but faith backed by consistent effort becomes unstoppable momentum. It is also important to surround yourself with environments that cultivate faith. Fear is contagious, but so is faith. When you associate with people who believe in themselves, who dream big, and who encourage you to rise higher, their faith strengthens yours. Conversely, if you allow yourself to stay among those who constantly speak fear, negativity, and doubt, you will find it difficult to sustain your own belief. Protecting your mental environment ensures that faith is always fed and fear is always starved. Faith over fear does not mean you will never feel afraid again. Fear is a natural human emotion. It will arise when you face uncertainty or step into something bigger than yourself. But the difference lies in your response. Fear may knock on your door, but you do not have to invite it in and let it rule your house. Faith allows you to acknowledge fear, but not obey it. It teaches you to act with courage, even in the presence of trembling. And the more you practice this, the more fear loses its hold over you. Ultimately, the choice between faith and fear is the choice between growth and stagnation, between expansion and limitation, between living your life or watching it pass you by. An unbreakable positive mental attitude can only exist when faith becomes the dominant force in your mind. Every time you choose to believe in possibilities instead of limitations, you strengthen your mental armor. Every time you step forward despite fear, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your doubts. And over time, faith becomes your natural response while fear becomes powerless against you. Faith over fear is not just a mindset, it is a way of life. It is the conscious decision to trust in your potential, in unseen opportunities, and in the unfolding of a greater plan. When you choose faith over fear, you choose progress over paralysis, courage over comfort, and success over surrender. And when faith becomes the foundation of your attitude, nothing in this world can break you. Resilience in setbacks is the quality that separates those who merely wish for success from those who inevitably achieve it. No life journey worth living will ever be free of obstacles, disappointments, or delays. The road to any meaningful goal is paved with tests of character, and setbacks are among the most powerful of those tests. They are the moments that reveal whether your positive mental attitude is a fragile mask or an unbreakable force. If you truly want to build a strong and lasting mindset, you must learn not only to survive setbacks, but to thrive because of them. Every setback carries within it the seeds of advancement. At first, it may not feel this way. Failures sting, losses wound, and rejection can shake your confidence. But hidden inside these experiences are lessons and opportunities that can only be revealed through challenge. Resilience is the ability to recognize that what appears as an end is often a new beginning in disguise. The person who meets a setback with bitterness will remain stuck, while the one who meets it with resilience will emerge stronger, wiser, and more determined. Think of setbacks as the universe's way of asking, how badly do you want it? Anyone can set goals and feel confident when the path is smooth, but only the resilient prove their worth when storms come. Resilience is not about ignoring pain or pretending that disappointments do not hurt. It is about refusing to let those pains and disappointments define you. It is the mental armor that protects your attitude from being broken by temporary defeats. Resilience in setbacks begins with perspective. Instead of seeing challenges as evidence that you are failing, learn to see them as proof that you are growing. Muscles do not develop without resistance, and neither does character. Every obstacle you face and overcome adds another layer of strength to your mind. The person who never experiences setbacks may appear lucky, but they also remain untested. Resilience ensures that every challenge becomes training for greater victories ahead. Another key to resilience is adaptability. A rigid mindset crumbles when plans do not unfold as expected, but a flexible one adjusts and finds another way. Success rarely comes in a straight line. It weaves through detours, delays, and unexpected turns. When setbacks appear, resilience allows you to pause, reassess, and redirect your energy without losing momentum. This ability to adapt while keeping your attitude positive is what separates winners from quitters. Resilience also requires endurance. Some goals take longer to manifest than you anticipate, and setbacks often serve to stretch your patience. Many people give up just before a breakthrough because they mistake delay for denial. Resilient individuals understand that temporary defeat is not permanent failure. They hold on longer, push harder, and rise quicker than others, and in doing so, they outlast those who lack the strength to persist. Importantly, resilience is not built in the absence of hardship, it is forged in the fire of difficulty. Every time you recover from a disappointment, you are building resilience. Every time you get up after being knocked down, you are training your mind to be unbreakable. The more you practice resilience, the easier it becomes to face new setbacks, because you carry with you the memory of past recoveries and the confidence that you can rise again. To develop resilience, train yourself to ask empowering questions during setbacks. Instead of saying, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What can I learn from this?" Instead of declaring, "I failed," say, "I discovered a way that does not work, and I am now closer to what will." The quality of your questions determines the quality of your recovery. By framing setbacks as opportunities rather than punishments, you preserve your positive mental attitude and keep moving forward. Resilience is not only about surviving difficulties, it is about using them as fuel. Each challenge becomes a source of energy, a reminder that if you can endure setbacks, you can endure anything. This is why truly successful people often speak with gratitude about their toughest seasons. They know that without those moments, they would not have developed the inner strength required to reach greatness. In the end, setbacks are not signals to stop, they are signals to grow. They are checkpoints on the journey, testing your commitment and refining your character. With resilience, you transform setbacks into stepping stones, failures into feedback, and obstacles into opportunities. The world cannot break a person who refuses to stay down. And when you build resilience into your attitude, you develop a mind so unshakable that no setback, no matter how great, can keep you from your destiny. Persistence turns attitude into power because attitude alone, no matter how positive, cannot create results without the steady application of effort over time. A positive mental attitude is like the spark of a fire. It is essential, but without fuel, the fire quickly burns out. Persistence is that fuel. It is the daily commitment to keep moving, keep striving, and keep believing even when the evidence around you seems to argue otherwise. It is persistence that transforms the energy of optimism into tangible power that builds success. Many people begin their journeys with enthusiasm. They set goals, declare intentions, and feel the initial rush of motivation. But as soon as they meet resistance, as soon as setbacks arrive or progress slows, their attitude collapses. They confuse temporary defeat with permanent failure and allow discouragement to kill their momentum. A positive mental attitude without persistence is like a strong engine without wheels. It may roar loudly, but it goes nowhere. Persistence gives direction and movement to attitude, turning belief into achievement. Persistence is not stubbornness. It is disciplined determination. Stubbornness refuses to change direction even when a plan is flawed, but persistence adapts while still pressing forward. It is the ability to try again and again, not with blind repetition, but with renewed intelligence gained from past attempts. This is why persistence is often the missing ingredient between people who dream and those who achieve. Dreamers wish, but achievers persist. History is full of examples where persistence carried people through when talent, intelligence, or resources alone were not enough. Countless inventors, leaders, and visionaries failed dozens of times before achieving breakthroughs that changed the world. Their secret was not that they never failed, it was that they never quit. They understood that persistence eventually bends circumstances in their favor. The universe itself seems to reward those who prove, through persistence, that they will not stop until they succeed. Persistence also builds inner strength. Every time you persist through difficulty, you harden your mental resilience and deepen your belief in yourself. You begin to see yourself as someone who cannot be broken, someone who cannot be turned back by mere resistance. This self-image is one of the most powerful assets you can possess, because once you truly believe you are unstoppable, the world begins to treat you that way. People respect and follow those who refuse to give up, and opportunities naturally gravitate toward them. To develop persistence, you must first have a clear and burning desire. Without a strong reason, persistence cannot survive. The person who merely wishes will give up at the first difficulty. But the one who is consumed by a definite purpose will endure countless hardships without quitting. Desire fuels persistence, and persistence channels desire into power. This is why defining your why is so crucial. Without it, persistence fades, but with it, persistence becomes unshakable. Persistence is also built through habit. It is not about occasional bursts of effort, but about consistent daily actions. Every small step you take, repeated day after day, compounds into unstoppable momentum. When persistence becomes a habit, success becomes inevitable. You no longer rely on fleeting motivation, you rely on discipline, which carries you forward even when emotions fluctuate. The habit of persistence ensures that progress continues no matter how you feel in the moment. It is also vital to protect your persistence from the influence of negativity. Surround yourself with people who encourage your persistence, not those who question or mock it. Guard your environment so that your faith is fed and your focus remains strong. Persistence thrives in an atmosphere of belief and discipline, but withers in an atmosphere of doubt and distraction. Ultimately, persistence is the bridge between a positive mental attitude and real-world power. Attitude sets the vision, but persistence does the work. Attitude creates the spark, but persistence keeps the fire burning until the goal is reached. With persistence, even average talent can produce extraordinary results, while without it, even the greatest potential is wasted. The world belongs not to those who start fast, but to those who keep going. Success is rarely about sudden breakthroughs. It is about consistent persistence that builds momentum until the goal is achieved. When you make persistence your constant companion, no setback can defeat you, no delay can discourage you, and no obstacle can withstand you. With persistence, your positive mental attitude becomes more than just optimism. It becomes a living force, a power that guarantees eventual victory.